almost falling over. I've got kind of a different setup right now today because I'm actually using the, oh God, not again. Stop it. I'm actually using my old phone to go live with because I need to power this up. They still have the problem with the batteries dying soon on the Apple, and the only reason why I like the Apple is it's a better phone. I mean, functionally, I think it's way better than Samsung or LG. I don't really like those phones. I know a lot of people do, but I had one in Korea and I thought it was just cheap. I mean, it was like cheap to me. So anyway, we're gonna talk about the Acolyte trailer. So that dropped. And there was an article about an interview with Leslie Headland that came out on THR. And I'm not gonna read it. I don't give a shit. I just want to remind you guys of who she is. Let's get into the way back machine. I mean, there she is with Harvey. See, hey Bezos, I call it the trash light. But she had absolutely no problem going after George Lucas. So let's find that video. Her yipping and yapping about the auteur myth. And she said she's literally so stupid. It hurts. It hurt. It's gonna hurt your head to hear this. And I know a lot of you have already seen it, but here we go. Okay, here we go. I don't know why this is not working. Come on. Okay, well, go over to X, because it was working there. When I sent it to THR, I'll go to mine. It boggles the mind, in my opinion. Oh, hey, Jacob. How you doing, man? And the reason why it boggles the mind, okay, here we go.
What we understand to be Star Wars, like the idea that that only came from George Lucas, that only George Lucas holds the key for what we understand to be Star Wars is just untrue. And I think the prequels are an excellent example of that. I mean, the idea that when you're hiring a director, that everyone is sitting in there waiting for George Lucas and not for the person who's going to know to hire Ralph McQuarrie. That's the problem. That's the misogyny and the problem with the auteur myth as it stands today, because they're not thinking this is the person that will hire the right people and this is the person that will be able to create the lookbooks and direct people to get them to that place. They're just thinking, do you have all the answers? And the truth is that nobody does, and anybody that says they do is lying. This is what we understand to be Star Wars, the idea that
First off, someone's gonna have to explain to me what the actual fuck is the auteur myth. Secondly, he hired Ralph McQuarrie. We all remember the story. He got Ralph McQuarrie to create concept art to take to Alan Ladd Jr. and the execs and suits at Fox, and they hired George to do the movie for $10 million based off the concept art. That's it. That's what happened. The stupid bitch is too fucking ignorant to know that. I mean, and speaking of someone with a lot of baggage, wow, misandrist much? Harvey must have really done a number on this cunt. You know, even though I do think she's part and parcel. Mason, thank you, Mason, normally I don't even acknowledge people like you. My fucking channel, my fucking rules. You don't fucking like it. Go suck yourself off. There you go. Okay, faggot. Okay, I'm done. All right, now. So we got this trailer. And do you guys want to watch it? Do you guys want to see the trailer? Let's watch it again, just cause. I mean, I don't. Well, you know what we could do? We could see just how many actual views it got. Here it is. Stop. 1,141,415 views 3 hours ago. I'm gonna get a dislike. Give it a dislike. All right, I guess we're gonna watch it. I'm gonna put it in this mode.
Close your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you.
Okay, Master Kenobi.
You must not trust them. Tell me what comes into your mind.
Life. Balance.
Oh,
I see fire.
This is the stupid part. This is the dumbest fight I've ever seen.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense. What happened?
I sensed the darkness. This isn't about good or bad. This is about power and who is allowed to use it.
What is that?
Okay. What the fuck was that? First off, I have to say this. Thanks, Maze. Yeah, please like. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I appreciate it. First off, the fight between Carrie Ann Moss and the token hire was far more egregious than anything that the black pills were crying about when Kenobi came out. I mean, you know, you could see Vader doing that shit with Reva. All right, that's freaking Darth Vader. But what the fuck is this? It's worse. It's the worst fanfic I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so, you know, it's got over 1 million hits. I don't think it's gonna get much more. I think once the initial over it, I think it'll end up probably being lower than Andor, the Andor trailer and whatever. So I want to talk a little bit about why I think this actually came out. First off, I know stuff in the background that I'm not allowed to talk about. And don't sit there and assume whatever WDW Pro or whatever Tom Quixote de la Mancha had to say. There's a reason why this got made and why this came out. First off, they forced it. And the people that actually funded it want it out there. Imagine who I'm talking about. Remember who Leslie Headland is and who she actually worked for once a long time in a galaxy far, far away. Okay. Go on from there. And All right, squiggle writers gotta go. Don't give a shit. And I'm sitting here going, okay, why would people like that get involved with this? Now, get in your way back machine. Back in the 1980s, when Michael Franzese was a capo with the Colombo crime family, he laundered money through Hollywood by making horror movies. Look, horror movies are cheap to make. They make a lot of money for what you spent. Okay, and that's a good way to hide ill-gotten gains. So you're looking at the Acolyte going, well, how are they going to launder money through that? I'm not that creative. But if it's possible, the people that were part of this can do that. Now here's the other part of it. A D23 trailer just came out, I think, too. No Kathleen Kennedy. No sequel trilogy. But George Lucas at the end. Lots and lots and lots of Jon Favreau. And cosplayers as Leia and Luke. Okay. Interesting. So what I think is this. I think Kennedy had the audacity to, if you want to explain this one to this asshole Maze, I'll let you talk to him and then ban him. Kennedy was given a choice. You either get your Ray movie or you get the Acolyte. And basically Iger was given the choice too. What would do the most damage to the franchise? Would the best as Ivar? Oh, I know, Jacob. The best as ever? Or Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant who did something really stupid and got a bunch of people that don't need to be involved. What's gonna damage the brand more? Something that can easily be hidden and then removed from Disney Plus and memory hold, which is probably gonna happen, or a movie they spend with, if it's Kennedy, a budget of $225 million, and then after 90% of it's reshot, $475 million. Okay. And it would do much more damage because it is a big screen movie. And we know the last time when she had a movie, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I liked it. I have no fucks to give about what anybody else thinks. I thought it was good. It got shit on. There you go. I think that they chose the lesser of two evils. I really do. It's just obvious that you can easily just act like the Acolyte is not there once it's out there. Now, Francine Flintstone, aka Leslie Headland, does have an interview in THR, and it's probably part of the package that they gave her. So eventually she'll go away. I won't read it. I'm not going to read it. I don't care what she thinks. I find her disgusting and deeply disturbing and a humongous moron. After watching that little clip from that podcast of a few years ago, her attacking George Lucas and saying that basically implying he didn't hire Ralph McQuarrie. It's just, she's a fucking moron. Oh, I don't know. I mean, look, if she lost about 25, 30 pounds. No, she probably wears a 14. She'd probably have to lose a good 50, okay, before she could actually look decent, okay? And even then, she'd be seriously plain. Oh yeah, I mean, they're giant classes like that are usually affiliated with, those would actually be fourth wave feminists. I mean, and fourth wave feminists aren't even women anymore, they're trans women. You know, oh, and let's not get into that argument. I don't really feel like I want to watch the show. I might watch a little of the first episode just to laugh and to get an idea of how bad it's going to be. You know, I might, just because I'm interested in just saying how bad it is. But look, this thing is going nowhere. I mean, there isn't any general concern, and I'm going to say this. Just because it's got a lot of views, like over 1 million views, not all those people were happy for this. They were curious to see how bad it was. That's why they're watching the trailer. They're not, you know, they're not gonna watch it because they're curious to see how good it's gonna be. Even though the usual suspects on X, you know, the ones with the rainbow and the flags in their profiles and maybe a Ukrainian flag and other shit, are gonna show up and cheer it on, but they're not Star Wars fans. All right, look. As a general rule, if you look at people like these people who say they like the sequel trilogy and they liked whatever, they only went to the movie once, or they didn't go to see the movie. They just wanted to make sure their woke shit is validated. Okay, look. All I have to do is bring up the box office for each sequel trilogy movie. 2.3 billion, or 2.3 billion, 1.3 billion, barely a billion. That's not rising box office with each successive movie. That's failing box office with each new movie. Okay. You can't look at that and be honest about how well this thing's doing, you know? I mean, that's bullshit. Numbers don't lie. Okay? It's like, you look at the merchandise. I was just at Ollie's the other day. I walk around once a week just to see what can be seen. And those Rey figures from The Last Jedi are still hanging on the pegs. No one wants them. And they've been there since 2020. They've been there for 4 years. Almost 4 years. Okay, so there's no, and it's Ollie, so it was a resale buyout of Walmart. Okay, so the kids don't want it. I mean, look, here's the thing. I've got a niece who's well on her way to not being a normal person, who gets all upset with me when I go off on how ugly Adam Driver is and what a shitty villain he is. And she gets all mad at me. She doesn't buy the books. She doesn't buy the merchandise. The Last Jedi and all the rest of that shit. And now I think the Acolyte are only there for people like that. They don't even have to watch it as long as they feel validated. All right, that's it. I told her one day, I said, the only person that's going to validate you, sweetheart, is you. That's it. The only person who's going to validate you is you. I don't have to. Her parents don't fucking have to. Okay? No one has to. All right? You got to be the one looking at yourself in the mirror going, I'm happy now. I'm happy with who I am. All right? No, Vice Admiral Gender Studies. No Captain Phasma with the stupid silver armor is going to validate you. Okay? Why the fuck does anybody need that? But that's how they think. That's how they think. Okay? It's sorry for what, Maze? It's all right. You're doing fine. So now we've got the Acolyte coming out, and I am thinking seriously that, like I said, I might watch the first episode. I don't know. And, no, it's not. I tried to, and it wouldn't, I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted it to. Trying to share it out it doesn't have a share button. I'm only going to use StreamYards if I have someone coming in. Okay. So, and I still got to figure out my computer. I can do it on my phone, but I'm powering up the phone right here. So, anyway, so yeah, I'm probably going to watch a little bit of The Acolyte, the first episode, and then decide for myself how bad it is. And I'm not going to tell you to watch it. I'm not going to tell you not to watch it. Okay. That's up to you. All right. But that trailer was so fucking horrible. It can't even be quantified. Yeah, well, we got to figure out a time. It's Ramadan right now, and he goes kind of dark on YouTube. He kind of like that. So yeah, now the D23 trailer came out, I think today, and very interesting. No Kennedy, no sequel trilogy. So that's interesting. All right, let's go back to the Acolyte. I'm going to ask questions somebody else will ask. Where is the discussion of the Karen McCarthy lawsuit? I'm the only one who'll ask that. Nobody else will. Nobody. Why? Because they don't care about that. And the last time McCarthy's lawyer kind of came up for air, I'm not going to tell you how we know this, he basically said Disney was stonewalling, and they're still not sure what the Acolyte is. So there you go. I mean, where'd they get the money? Why was Karen McCarthy fired? It has everything to do with where Headland was getting the money. Okay. If Karen McCarthy had stayed on, seen where the money was coming from, she would have started asking questions, and it would have turned into a holy shit scandal. It already is. And Disney can't afford to settle. They also can't afford to have it go to Discovery. You can blame Leslie Headland and Karen Kennedy for that. Okay. They weren't thinking. They wanted to keep everything in the cone of silence. Karen was the odd man out. They couldn't trust her. Okay, so that's why. So now we've got a lawsuit that we haven't heard anything about, and Leslie Headland is named in the lawsuit. Okay. She's named in it. Karen, Kathy Kennedy is. Disney is. Okay, but it's mostly Lucasfilm. And there's also probably a reason why Disney wanted this out. Because there were questions about about the show from Karen McCarthy's lawyer team, and Disney could not answer it. Disney would not answer them. Cone of silence. Because they were scared shitless and didn't know what they had. You know, I think it was probably very hurriedly put together. You know, the trailer is supposed to be misleading, and it just looks fucking stupid. I mean, at the end where you see the Jedi turn on all their lightsabers, and it's supposed to be, I'm like, I mean, I'm literally like, this whole thing kind of wears you out. You know what I'm saying? This whole thing kind of wears you out because it's like, I don't really know where or what they thought, where they thought they were going with this and what they thought they were doing. This is my theory. I'm gonna let you guys go because I want to go do some other things. Leslie Headland was given the green light by Kennedy, and they made a deal to make this show. Disney never signed off on it, and when Kathy thought she was going to get the show, for sure, when it was still when Chapek was running the company, she told Headland to hire a line producer. So she went out, hired Karen McCarthy, who, by the way, the show that she was supposed to produce, Sugar, landed on Apple Plus, and it's really good. She missed out. She missed out on being something very a big piece of prestige right there by jumping on the bandwagon with fucking bitch Leslie Headland. And Chapek came back and said, no, I'm not giving you the green light. I'm not giving you the green light, Kathy, let it go. Kennedy came back and told Headland, oh, hi, Mike, by the way. You're going to have to get rid of McCarthy because we didn't get the green light. I want to make this, I'm going to force them to put it on Disney Plus. Now it's on Disney Plus. Because, A, who funded it? And Leslie Headland's shenanigans, illegal shenanigans that she got everybody involved in. And I'm also going to blame Kathleen Kennedy for this too. Second of all, the fact that Disney did not put the kibosh on this immediately when it came out that Kennedy was going to hire this bitch. Look, you know, you got to ask, did Kennedy surprise everybody when she announced the Acolyte back in 2019 or 2020 or whenever this came out? Or did she, was she told before she announced it and did it anyway? It could be either way, all right? They didn't put the kibosh on it right away, all right? They didn't tell Kathy, no, we're not doing this. The only reason why Kennedy came out with this is because John was talking to George Lucas about the scripts for Mandalorian season 2. Okay, that's why she did this. John was supposed to be the only one doing streaming at Lucasfilm, and Kennedy could not play nice. Okay, she wanted control, and they took it away from her. Now, you know, the fact, let's go back to 2 weeks, no, back to the earnings report. Iger mentions the Mando Grogu movie, but not the sequel trilogy movie thing that she wants with Rey. Why? There is no Rey movie. There isn't. You know, and the fact of the matter is that it looks to me, from what Conran was told, that Favreau saw what they had of the Acolyte, and it was more than a sizzle reel, but it wasn't enough for a full series, so we don't really know how many shows we're going to get. And thought, and he said, look, this is the worst fan film I've ever seen. Tried to make it work, and then he sent what they had overseas to finish, because doesn't want to deal with it. Okay, so now it's coming out on the 4th of June as, content for Disney Plus. I don't think it's going to make a bit of difference with people subscribing to Disney Plus or not. Because there was absolutely none, zero de zippo, none desire for the Acolyte and the High Republic in general. All right, if Substack has a pair of journalists that actually went into bookscan.com and they did an investigation to see how many books the High Republic actually sold. And it is a miserable fucking failure. So you've got a TV show attached to that dumpster fire. Why? Okay, why? And, I'm like, why don't they just cancel everything? But circumstances be that what they are. And the kinds of people that Headland made deals with, we're stuck, at least with the Acolyte being on Disney Plus for a short run, probably, and then they're going to yank it because no one's going to want to watch it. Yeah, I think, Headland had what she made, and Favreau did what he could to fix it, and then he sent it over abroad to finish, and there you go. I mean, the people that wanted a bang for their buck got the bang for their buck. Disney got some content, and maybe this is part of the Kennedy I'm leaving thing. I gotta go now, So let's talk about George. So George came out, because a lot of people are upset about this. George came out in support of Bob Iger. Bob Iger has been a friend of George Lucas for a while. And if you looked at Bob's book, The Ride of a Lifetime, or whatever the hell he called it when he thought he was going to run for president, he basically apologizes for what went on with Lucasfilm to George. The one thing in the book that everybody notices and comments on is the omission of Kathy Kennedy's name anywhere. Okay, so that tells me that Iger was already looking forward to getting her the fuck out of there. Okay, because he already knew that they were gonna, that she was already screwing things up. So George comes out in support of Bob Iger. And while I'm disappointed, I understand why. It is a diplomatic move. Iger is still one of the top 2 film executives in Hollywood and in the media. He really is. I mean, that's me being honest. Yeah, I think Kyle's onto something. And when you look at people like Nelson Peltz, who, if I had voting, my voting shares, I voted for Peltz and Rasulo. The idea that Uh, oh, I don't think there's any cost because I think Iger, let me answer that, Carlos. I don't think there'll be any cost to his legacy because they've already put it in motion to save it. Iger did that. All right, Iger did that. The one thing you can say about Bob Iger is that when he makes a mistake, he tries to come back and fix it. Okay, he tries to come back and fix it. Yeah, no, he's Nelson Peltz wants Star Wars to succeed too. Part of this is, I think people are afraid that the company with Rasulo and Peltz will be sold off. I think it was Nelson Peltz that talked about spinning off ESPN, which is a bad idea. And I think there's fear that they would sell it. They would sell it to somebody else who, Lucasfilm. And that's just, I think, part of the reason why George came out. And again, they're friends. But what else? What else is going on? Kathleen Kennedy, we have been told, has bent the knee and is going to go quietly off in the sunset for her Viking funeral. She's got a Lifetime Achievement Award coming up at the Austin Film Festival. And the whole thing with the Acolyte, it looks to me like things are speeding up. Like I said before, and then I gotta go. I believe that Kathleen Kennedy will be gone quicker than July. Yeah, Kyle, I think that's right. I think, she's basically pretending to leave on her own free will. But I think it's going to come sooner rather than later, even though I'm publicly stating this now. This is basically, I think, from Matt Bellany. He implied heavily she's gone at the end of October. They did not renew her contract. I know that that's out there in Hollywood, but I think it's happening sooner. I mean, just I can't tell you how I've been led to believe by certain people who have talked to a little bird, and I think that she's, thanks Cross, she's probably going to leave a lot sooner. Well, I mean, the house is sold. Not for near the money they wanted to sell it for. Over $6 million less. Which is neither here nor there, but that's gotta hurt. All right. It was actually, Redfin priced it out at about 11.5 million and they got 12.6, 12.5. And they first wanted 18.9, then they dropped it to 16.9, then they dropped it to 14.9, and then you could see the deal starting to get hammered out. It went from contingent to pending, and then a few days ago sold. All right, on the 1st of March. So I think that was kind of a signal to me that that house was going away. Okay. Well, the fact of the matter is she asked, Katie O'Brien is going to be in it. And I hate her. And that looks like to me like it was another diversity hire. Because that bitch can't act. She just, no way that bitch can act. Anyway, I gotta go. I've got other stuff I've got to do, and I want to make sure that my phone is, my good phone is charged up. So you guys have a good evening. Have a good, the rest of your day. Tomorrow morning, more Bad Batch, and I'm really enjoying the hell out of that show. See you guys around the galaxy. Be safe, behave. Any announcements come out, I will be back. Talk to y'all later. You're welcome, Kyle. You guys have a good afternoon, okay?